He dead. I say he dead. What's wrong with you? I say he dead.
Hey yo, welcome back YouTube. It's SBK aka Supreme Black Eye with another video. I want to get right into this topic. I was going to do an entire review, but then I opened Twitter, one of the worst places of the internet by the way, but I saw some semi-interesting takes. Apparently, to a good chunk of people, Vivy Flourite Ice Song is the best anime of the season. I've even seen people go as far as to say it's the best anime of the year. Okay, it's for sure an underrated and underappreciated series, and these people are surely entitled to their own opinions, but so am I. I want to explain why Vivy Flourite Ice Song isn't the best anime of the season, but first I want to tell you guys why you should watch it because it is a very good series. First off, the animation is beautiful. It's definitely one of the prettiest anime I've ever seen, not only in the quality of the animation, but the color profiling used throughout the series gives this constant amount of beauty. Like, it never stops. They definitely did not hold back on making this series look good. Now, towards the quality of the animation, I don't have to speak too much on that, but just pay attention to the fight scenes. They are so well coordinated and choreographed, and sure, that's a given. But the animation for the combat is tuned as well. It's perfect. I wish they weren't so short, but the series does not play around with damage and killing and fighting, so it's realistic that it's short. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not going to see people get blown into cans and survive like in Dragon Ball Z. In this series, if that happens, they will definitely die very horrifically. The character models are also very beautiful. It's as beautiful as the animation itself, alright? I mean, I'm a big fan of those honkers. That's what really matters with the character models, you feel me? No, but seriously, every character is easy to look at, and they are all AIs or androids, so there's no reason to make ugly ones. You get what I'm saying? Everyone being beautiful makes sense for this series for the most part. Usually, it's very tiring to look at characters that are just so unrealistic, but I can put up with that in this series because of the fact that it's in the far future with androids. I mean, it just works. The soundtrack for the show, there's a lot of bangers, which makes sense because Vivy is a songstress AI. So if we are going to be following a music icon, the music better be good. I mean, just listen. As you like my I also like how this series has all types of characters. I'm not going to say everything because I don't like spoiling if I don't have to, but here's one spoiler here. Skip to this time frame if you don't want to hear it. It's minor, but still. Alright, ready? Okay. This guy marries an AI, and for some reason it's just hilarious to me. It reminds me of the people who buy body pillows of Megumin for some reason. I don't know why it does, it just does. Just watch this scene. Like, basically she just wants to feel some real human man meat, and it just makes me crack up every time I see the scene. But yeah, well, on the topic of characters, Vivy is one of the most developed characters this season. They do it pretty good, but they focus so heavily on her progression that there are sacrifices for the rest of the characters, and that's the start of why I don't think this show is the best of the season. The other main character, Matsumoto, doesn't really get development that's fleshed out nearly as well as Vivy's. At first, he was this cold-hearted ass robot, solely focused on his mission like every other AI, but eventually he comes to at least care about Vivy. That's it. That's his character progression. His cold robotic heart becomes more loving, but with that being said, even that isn't deserved because of the fact that it's rushed. He actually doesn't spend too much time with Vivy. I'm not going to spoil here, so I can't get too detailed, but there's only a few missions that it goes on before certain things change within Vivy. So for him to care so much when those missions are spread apart by so many years at a time was confusing to me, to say the least. Like, you have to remember, they do not spend time in the gaps between the missions. He goes on to I don't even know where, and that's usually an issue with very short shows. Talking about the 12-13 episode anime, there's a lot of rushed development in shorter shows, but there is a way to perfect the craft of character development within shorter shows, and I know this to be true because Wonder Egg Priority accomplished this. You don't give characters huge character arcs in short shows. Vivy has a huge character arc about basically finding herself, and that's why the show focuses on her thoughts so much and her development so much, because not only is finding yourself a journey that characters like Guts is still on to this day, considering the fact that the journey could take a lifetime for most people, but they also just don't have the time to flesh out anyone else in 13 episodes. Vivy's arc is too complicated for 13 episodes, but the thing is, they attempt to give an arc to Matsumoto that just isn't fleshed out. Now, again, Vivy is a well fleshed out character. It's just the fact that they took such a big journey and put that as a character arc that it just gives no time for everyone else. Okay, but for some reason they still try to give Matsumoto his time to shine. A character arc is kind of like the outline for character progression. As a robot AI in this show, they all have missions that they dedicate their existence to. Nowhere in his mission says that he has to care about Vivy. He does that on his own accord. Just like Vivy undertaking the mission of stopping the war. The issue with that is that it's just too underdeveloped. That's my problem. You guys can disagree, and I'm open to reading your comments and maybe changing my mind if you bring points up that I can't, because I truly don't want to spoil within the video. But him having but him having a character arc that softens his approach and makes him more caring should take more time and attention than it did. Matsumoto should remain a plot device only, just like every other character Vivy has come across as well. Not every character needs character progression. Every other character is there for the story and for Vivy to grow. That's it, and that's totally fine. But when you start a character arc and then you finish it as fast as this show did, then there's going to be issues because it isn't truly complete. There's a lot of missing pieces that I can nitpick out. It's kind of like, you guys remember Naruto, right? And how Rock Lee and all those other side characters are underdeveloped. You gotta give characters in a show like that character development because you have so many episodes. You have like almost 500, over 500, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of episodes in Naruto, so you gotta give those characters character development. Now, is this truly a big deal? Not really. And there's other things that's wrong with the show, but I'd be forced to spoil, so I'll withhold. But the TLDR version would be that the show is really predictable. While it isn't a big deal, the issues this show has are just slightly larger than issues with shows I consider better, like 86 and To Your Eternity, especially To Your Eternity, which as of right now, episode 9 speaking, doesn't have those issues. But I also think they might go a predictable path too, considering the first episode on their Twitter, which I'll drop my video on that show next Sunday. No show is perfect, so maybe you guys that think very highly of this series don't value the same things that I do, so the issues don't matter. But like I said, there's better ways of going about what they did. Wonder Egg Priority gave 4 character arcs to 4 main characters, and so far they all have been fleshed out except one, which we will probably see in the last episode that's coming out June 29th, I believe. They did it flawlessly, by the way, dedicating entire episodes to character arcs because the plot gave them room for it, as opposed to Vivy's plot did not, which is really sad considering that as of right now, until we get the last episode or two, it looks like it was kind of a waste considering what happened. Anyways, sound off in the comments if you are a respecter of opinions. Leave a like if you disagree, we could talk about it. I'm game if you are. Even if you're not a respecter of opinions and you just want to talk shit, go ahead, I'm down for it. I will match your energy. I like it. It's just funny to me. Alright, see you boys next Sunday. Again, I'll be touching on To Your Eternity for the second time, but this time it's a full-on review. Until then, stay healthy, stay alive, and be happy. Love you guys. Pass.